And welcome back to the channel. It is Ben Nosedies here, and like most Myfaction players, I have been waiting for new World Tour updates. And I finally figured out what has happened, been in front of our faces the whole time, and I can't believe no one has worked it out. I'm going to show you in this video what happened to the updates and why they were cancelled. And it is pretty crazy. Obviously, don't know this for 100% certainty, but all of the factors I've worked out, I'm about 95% sure this is what happened. Yeah, and it is. Yeah, you're going to be shocked. what happened is crazy. But yeah, before we get into the video, as always, please super click that like button. It really does help the channel out, and it does help this video get out. If you are new as well, please get the subscribe button, a big old elbow drop. Let's get into the video, and I'm going to show you basically what happened to the World Tour updates. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to go into a lot more detail in a minute. I'm just going to give you a little short version of what happened, and then we'll show you all the evidence I've got to prove this. But basically, what happened in 2K, as some of you may remember, the Superstar Super Pack came out. And with this Superstar Super Pack, the odds for the cards were basically broken. That any pack you brought, you basically made MFP. You brought a pack for 13,000 MFP, you can make 20,000, 30,000, because they messed the odds up. And what this meant was that every player playing 2K at that time, you brought the packs quickly, you could make 1 million MFP, 2 million MFP. You can see a bunch of creators who were online at the time. They brought a bunch of packs and made a bunch of MFP. Now, why does this relate to World Tour? Now, the issue with this was a bunch of players that play the game the most, got a bunch of MFP. That means they're not going to buy a VC. And what does 2K want you to do? Buy a VC, spend that money. They had to work out, how do we get people to spend that MFP they've got, and also people who haven't got MFP spend VC. They were panicking. What do we do behind the scenes? Who do we? How do we get these people to spend MFP? What they did was they did two things that we know they did. They upped the packs, basically doubled in price. The cards from the card market doubled in price. They did the third thing, which none of us realised until today. I figured it out. So around the time of the Superstar Super Pack was released, that's when the next update for World Tour should have been released. So what they've done is they've sat down and gone, how can we get people to spend MFP more? As I said, they've done the packs, they've done the card market. So the plan they came up with was the Persona cards that were going to be World Tour rewards. They added 2 packs and collection rewards. So, for instance, the Alexa Bliss card that was a reward for the Sinister pack, that would have been a reward in the World Tour. They did that card as an experiment first in the Sinister pack. And as you can see online, on my videos at the time as well, other people's videos, people spent a bunch of MFP trying to get that Alexa Bliss card. So once that worked, they then took all the other awards that were going to be in the World Tour. There's going to be 3 maps. It was going to be, and there was 10 Persona cards, and these 10 Persona cards added to the Punch and Promos ones, and to the Bloodline pack, and the Money in the Bank ones as well. So that's why basically World Tour got cancelled, because all the Persona cards that we were going to get as rewards were now added to the packs. So that does sound a little bit crazy. But I've got evidence to prove it in a minute. We're going to go into a lot more detail. So yeah, basically the small version of what happened was they messed up with the Superstar Super Pack. A lot of players got MFP. They then panicked. How do we get people to spend that MFP? And they're going to spend more VC. So what they did was took the Persona cards that were going to be in the World Tour updates and then put them into packs. So that you and I spent a bunch of money, bought a bunch of MFP, trying to get the Persona cards in the game. That's what happened. It makes perfect sense. I'm going to go into a lot more detail why it makes, it might sound a little bit crazy, conspiracy theory, but everything makes. But when you start looking into the finer details of it, it all makes perfect sense. And you're going to get into it all more now. There's about 5 or 6 little points on their own. They don't seem to add up. Once you add all 6 together, this is what happened to World Tour. And yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. They were going to put World Tour in it. But because they messed up the MFP, they held back the 3 Persona cards they're going to give us, put them in packs. We all spent VCM MFP. Crazy, isn't it? Some of you may not believe it, but yeah, we're going to get into the evidence I've got here. Let's get into it all now. So our first piece of evidence comes from Witty Witterson on X. He finds a bunch of stuff in the code, the unreleased stuff, and he posts it online. And the first thing he found, and this was back in May, he found 3 new zones. Now, if we look at, say, the island, for instance, since that's been out, it's had 3 updates, plus we had the Bray Wyatt update as well. So they've had technically 4 updates, but you could say maybe 3. You'd imagine World Tour should have the same things. Either they'd update it at the same time, or maybe alternate. So 1 month you would get World Tour, and the next the island, or say they both come at the same time. So you should expect at least 2 DLCs, maybe even 3 for World Tour. We haven't got that, so you think we should have 3. It makes sense we have 3. And then you head over to Twitter. Witty found this. He's got 3 zones. You know, hold on, this does make sense. There should be 3. He's found 3 zones in the game, and this is all the way back in May as well. So it isn't like it's recently. It was in May, and he found 3 zones. It was the UK, it was Saudi and a bit of Africa, and Mexico and Central America. And these were the zones that were meant to get released. Now, I believe they're probably meant to get released end of May, maybe end of July, maybe September, end of September. And that would, you know, tie in with the island as well, getting the updates. So that is point number 1. Island's got a bunch of updates. We've got 3 new zones that matches what the island matches, and that is, you know, just a little thing there. It adds up. But number 2, these zones are places that WWE has been toured recently, and wouldn't it make sense the World Tour areas be places WWE's been to? Obviously, they went to UK and Europe at the end of March. So a couple of months later, you release a London zone in sometime in May. Now, they've been to Saudi this year. Oh, yes, they have. Night of Champions, remember that? Yeah. CM Punk versus John Cena. When was that? June. You'd imagine the World Tour for that would be July, maybe August. You see how things are slowly starting to add up now. I believe, obviously, we had Triple Mania to WWE recently. I think they've done a tour as well the last month or 2. That would be the Mexico zone getting released this month. And again, nothing is this is concrete, but it all starts to add up and starts to paint a picture. So that's the second point we've got. We've got the first point, we should probably have 3 updates, and we've got 3 zones that are in the vials. The second update is WWE has somehow toured those zones in the same period. A little bit of a coincidence, don't we think here? Now, the third point is, we're going to get into the game for this one, is that the Persona cards that they have kept back. Let's head into the game and let's see these Persona cards. As we said, the Superstar Super Pack is what caused all of the issues. The odds for this were, I didn't get lucky with this, unfortunately. I wasn't online at the time. But if you brought a Superstar Super Pack, you're guaranteed to get the best cards, essentially. And the MFP you got back was really high. So you could buy a pack and you could gain 10, 20, 30,000 MFP. You could just sit there, keep buying packs, get a bunch of MFP. Now, what has happened is, I said they panicked here, and this was May. The Master Pack came out as usual, and these are all Persona cards, and these, I think, this was pretty planned to happen anyway. The Master Pack, this wasn't part of the plan, but obviously the Superstar Super Pack, that's when they panicked, and the VC sales dropped. Obviously, head of 2K going to be going, hold on, you need to get VC. What can we do to get VC? And they said this is where it happened, is the Sinister Packs came out. And this was the first time the whole game, a Persona card was a collection set reward. And there was one exception to this, which was Booker T at the start of the game. Apart from that, all Persona cards you either earn in World Tour or you earn from live rewards. None of these packs, no Persona cards, no Persona rewards. Again, no Persona cards, no Persona rewards. Next pack, so we're making a point here so you can see. No Persona rewards, no Persona cards. Again, no Persona cards, no Persona rewards. You've been getting cards, but not Persona ones. Right? So nothing. Again, WrestleMania, nothing again. And it all changes at this point here. Again, no Personas again. This pack came out, and I think this was, you always get Personas in the Master Pack, so this wasn't a surprise. But the Sinister ones, that's when it changed. And so that's when, obviously, this caused the issues. And you might go a little bit crazy. But once you get to punching and promos cards, Persona, 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 right? And Legends, there was no Personas, a little bit strange. But in Bloodline, again, Persona. Money in the Bank, Persona. And since that point, SummerSlam. No personas. No personas. Again, no personas. Any personas this one? No personas. Why? Makes no sense. Apart from that Booker T card, this little period here between the superstar packs, you're getting a bunch of persona cards. That's the only time you're getting them. Isn't that a little bit weird? Don't you find that? And if we look at the persona cards, especially the Punches and Promos card, what is this John Cena linked to? What area is he linked to? Oh, it just happens to be Europe, doesn't it? Oh, where is one of the World Tour zones should have been in the game? Europe. Don't you find that a little bit strange that this, an updated John Cena card for Europe, that would be perfect for World Tour? You go, here's the updated Europe zone. You can unlock this awesome John Cena card. They do it with the island all the time. So do you not think that's what World Tour would have been? And if we're going to, and so yeah, this is where I believe it started. They put Alexa Bliss in there to see what happened. I said, in my videos, it happened. Seen other people's videos happened. People commented that they spent so much money trying to get this card. This was meant to be a reward for World Tour. And so if you go to World Tour how it is now, every single city you complete, you get a persona card. Now, most of the persona cards, if we look, are from last year's game or the year before. So this CM Punk card was in the game last year. The only one you didn't get a persona card was the Cody one. But yeah, you get a persona card for John Cena. We look at them all, yeah. Rob Van Dam one. I'm pretty sure all the personas were in games previously. I think apart from Solo Sikoa wasn't in it possibly. Yeah, most of these cards have featured in games previously, but every one you get persona card. Now, how many areas are there as well? It's quite interesting. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At the top there, just count it. 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 cards there. 9 upper personas, 1 Cody, but you get 9 cards. 10 technically. Obviously, 1 is a Solo Sikoa as well. If we head back to these collection rewards, how many persona cards do you think there are? We've got the Alexa Bliss one. 1. Punches and Promos. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus the Alexa, so 7. The reward for CM Punk, 8. You can see where this is going here. 9 for Roman Reigns. And 10 Seth Rollins. So the Solo Sikoa one is a duplicate. That technically means we're getting 9 new personas. That links exactly with World Tour. And I would think each World Tour zone would have 3 areas, I would think. But I believe each of these cards was a reward for a World Tour zone. So I don't know this. I can't guarantee this is what happened. But everything just seems to add up. So this pack came out. Everyone got MFP. They had to get people to MFP. And then suddenly, this is when you would think World Tour come out. This was May time. The dates match up. We got the John Cena card in May. Wouldn't you put the John Cena card in World Tour, in Europe especially, and go play World Tour today, unlock an awesome John Cena card? We've got the Cody bot, we've got the Lily stuff, we've got all this stuff in the island you can unlock. Would it make sense that some of these cards would be for World Tour? It makes perfect sense to me. This pack makes no sense. Why would this pack have so many persona cards? No pack since has them. It hasn't happened. Just this short period of time after they messed up. At the same time, we should be getting the next World Tour update, and now sticking personas in packs. I think so. What I think was going to happen was we're going to get Europe in May, with probably the Cena card as the big one, maybe a Roman and Miz or something. Then you wait a couple of months after Night of Champions. You add the World Tour zone for Africa / Middle East. And you probably put the Alexa Bliss card maybe in there, or maybe the Rock card in there. Maybe the Roman Reigns one is the big one. Plus a couple of the 2 older attires. And then you go for the Mexico one, put Alexa Bliss in there. He's back now. She win the title at SummerSlam. It just all seems too convenient to me. Let's say I mean, let me know what you think. Am I being crazy? I don't know this 100% what happened, but I can't see why. The island's got the updates. World Tour just completely stopped. Then got 3 zones. That would add up to the 3 updates we had for the island. We've got 10 Persona cards that are added to packs. Before we have none, apart from 1 Booker T. And suddenly, after they mess up with the packs, we get 10. And then since that point, there's been none. It just makes no sense. It doesn't add up. And when you think, hold on, this stuff should have been for World Tour, they've held it back. It makes perfect sense. The dates match up. They said that they went to Europe, March, April. A couple of months later, you release that zone. They go to Saudi Arabia for the pay-per-views. A couple of months later, you release that zone. They go to Mexico, Triple Mania. They do a little tour there. Months later, you release a zone. That's what's happened, I think. And I think they're going to Japan soon. Now, the rumour is that when they go to Japan, we're going to get the Japan zone. I think we are going to get a World Tour update with this Japan stuff. And they're probably the personas they planned as well. Just these personas were going to be part of Europe, Middle East, etc. And they're just taking it off. It all makes perfect sense. The dates add up. Why do we get, why do we get this pack with all these superstars? It's just a random, why are you getting The Miz? And as we said as well, The Miz, The Fiend, that CM Punk reward card there, the Solis code card as well, they're all old personas from last year's game. Or that have been in the game already, like Solis already in the game already. So it makes sense, if you look at the World Tour again, the rewards for World Tour, most of them are already in the game as well. Previous games. You're getting things like the CM Punk, that CM Punk was in the game already. Like last year. That Cena was in the game already. They're giving you a couple big headline ones, like the John Cena one. That's the update for Europe. But I think Alexa Bliss was probably going to be Mexico. And I think Roman Reigns was probably going to be Middle East. Maybe The Rock, maybe. It just makes perfect sense. The island, every update, you get a big thing. You get the Cody bot. You get Lily. Why would they not plan that for World Tour? Everything just adds up perfectly to me. So maybe I'm sounding crazy. Let me know in the comments below. But this is what I generally believe happened to World Tour. And I would like to prove me wrong, 2K. Say this isn't what happened. But it all just adds up. It just perfectly adds up. And I know what 2K have been like this year. But let me know. I mean, do you agree with me? Let me know. Am I being crazy? Am I adding 2 and 2 and getting 10? Because everything just adds up perfectly, doesn't it? It makes perfect sense. Where has it been? It was planned, and they cancelled it to get some money from us. And that seems like 2K to me. So I think it's what happened. But there you go. There is my kind of theory of what happened to World Tour in this year's game. And the more I think about it, the more it just all seems to add up. The dates seem to add up. The Persona cards, the weird Persona cards in the packs. Why is it just those packs that got Persona cards, no one else? Same with the rewards. I said, you'll remember people, when it came to the Lily card, when it came to the John Cena card, were desperate to get those cards and spent money on VC. They wasted that MFP that they got from the packs. People that had $1 million MFP, they spent it to get that Alexa Bliss, that Cena, etc. It all just makes perfect sense to me. Where's World Tour been? Not been there. Well, let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? So, am I being crazy? Am I adding 2 and 2 and getting 10? Or am I being a conspiracy theorist? But it just seems what 2K would have done. They want that VC. They want you to spend that money. Maybe I'm being cynical, but yeah, it all just makes perfect sense to me. Let me know if I'm being crazy. Yeah, I've broken the news there for you. That is what happened to World Tour, I believe. I believe it about 95%. If someone from 2K wants to come out and say it didn't happen, yeah, that's up to them. But yeah, where's World Tour been then? That's what I would say to that. Yeah, if you have made it this far into the video, I hope you did enjoy it. I say it's just my theory, not 100% confirmed, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's what happened. If you haven't made it this far into the video, as always, please super click that like button for us. And if you are want more crazy conspiracy theories from Myfaction, please give that subscribe button a big old elbow drop. I'll see you in another video soon. Hopefully some more positive news for something good 2K's done, hopefully. Fingers crossed. See you guys. Peace.